Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching Green Wave TV, alternative media television. The Department of Homeland Security is preparing for massive civil unrest in the United States of America, which is exactly why President Obama, via his 23 executive orders, his bypassing of Congress, and this big push to ban guns is in motion in the first place. It is about control, it is about power, and it is about taking weapons away from Americans and the middle class. Again, this is the last line in the sand for the American people. It's why our founding fathers gave us weapons of self-defense, while at the same time they are looking to confiscate. They are arming up in record numbers. In fact, the Department of Homeland Security is buying millions of rounds of bullets, of ammunition, at the same time arming the Department of Homeland Security and these SS-type organizations with the same types of weapons they're taking outside of the hands of the American people. Why? Well, they're preparing for civil unrest. They're also preparing for war. We see this in North Korea. He's arming up, using this nuke technology now. It's making a lot of people nervous. They're discussing this at the United Nations. North Korea saying they're going to blow South Korea out of the water, something to the tune of that, and back and forth. These are things that go against international law, and it is making a lot of people nervous. So this is about war. This is about disarming the American people. It has nothing to do about keeping our streets safer, keeping the streets of Chicago, Obama's hometown, safer, keeping our schools safer, or our children safer, because we already have this legislation in place. We already have. We look at states like Connecticut with some of the most draconian gun laws in the country, and yet still Adam Lanza, a psychopath, an insane person, gets his hands on guns that were legally bought, legally owned. Adam Lanza's mother, really, she's the one to blame, allowing her son to get a hold of these guns. These were all purchased legally. She's, had to do a background check to buy these weapons and to buy these guns, so it has nothing to do with preventing any of this violence. In fact, history shows us we will see more violence, we will see more armed robberies, we will see more things like this with the confiscation of weapons. But it's interesting how they're propagandizing the American people while they're saying, you need to get rid of your guns, weapons of war. We're going to get more for us. We're going to get more, and we're going to arm ourselves with weapons of self-defense with the same weapons we want to take from you. Why? Why would they be arming the Department of Homeland Security domestically? Obama says that these are weapons of war that should only be used overseas. Then why is he arming domestic bodies? What I believe to be the equivalent of the SS as we saw in Nazi Germany, the DHS here in the United States of America today. But look, we need to come to an understanding here in America. We need to understand what is really taking place and what is really happening in the United States. This is confiscation, broad confiscation before the outbreak of war, before the outbreak of much more civil unrest, while in the background, and I've got an American flag behind me, we've got liberty-minded and freedom-loving states willfully wanting and signing petitions to peacefully secede from the Union. That's what we have in America today. That's why they want the guns. Civil unrest, it's about economic collapse. They can't keep the Ponzi scheme of the Dow 14,000 up into infinity till ever. Forever, the only reason why we're at 14,000 is because there's massive inflation baked into the stock market today. There is massive quantitative easing. There's all kinds of bailout programs and stimulus that are keeping prices up. It's another reason we haven't seen, even though there's been a small correction in gold, we haven't seen a collapse in gold, we haven't seen a collapse in silver, we haven't seen a collapse in commodities. Why is oil going up again? Post Obama's convenient second re-election. Why? Why? This is about inflation. This is about broad market manipulation. This is about war. This is about economic collapse. And guns, the last line in the sand, the last line in Americans, the average guy, John and Jane and Joe's attempt to protect themselves from an authoritative, tyrannical government, or even a potential foreign invasion from an enemy country or an enemy terrorist organization, etc., overseas, is now being attacked domestically from the inside out through a hijacking of the federal government. We have a political system in America today where large corporations, I like to call them the corporatists, that rule the world, are actually financing. In fact, countries outside of the United States are financing politicians like President Barack Obama and then putting them in power. And that's how they have been able to take over our political system through the super PACs and those types of fundraising. We don't even see and don't even know where a lot of these funds are coming from. Who's financing? Who was financing President Barack Obama? That's all I have for today. Please continue to get our message out. Thank you to our audience. We had a great show today. I'm having so much fun doing what we're doing. I'm Christopher Green, hard-hitting and in your face as usual. If you like this video, please subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and get it out to the viewing public and support our sponsor below. Click that link. Peace.